How is it going, everyone? I want to give you guys a heads up on some fantastic PlayStation game deals that are live right now on Amazon. Some really good stuff has been going live over the course of the last few days, and with Amazon, it is a lot of stuff comes in and out, so if something goes out of stock, which as far as games are concerned, I really haven't been seeing a lot of major games go out of stock. The only thing I have been seeing is like the shipment has been delayed a little bit. I believe I see that with a couple of the notable titles, but a lot of them for me, I'm a Prime subscriber, still getting overnight shipping on them if I do pick anything up. So with that being said, we got a lot of deals to go over. I do want to give you guys a heads up on a Nintendo Switch game deal on a game that I loved and is one of my game of the years at the end of this video. If you do have a Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend it. It's not available on PlayStation, unfortunately. Maybe it will come to PlayStation sometime down the line, but more on that at the end of this video. We got some games, but first of all, I do want to give you guys a heads up that the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition console has gone on sale for $399. Yes, the PS5 is back to the price point it came out at launch. I believe, yeah, the digital console was $400 at launch, and now it's back to $400. So obviously had a couple of price hikes and everything like that. You know, a lot of controversy and a lot of discussion. I shouldn't really say controversy, but a lot of discussion on digital gaming and the longevity of digital gaming, etc., etc. I've talked about it in previous videos that I have been getting back into buying my games physically, at least most of the times. You know, games under $20 and $10, a lot of the times I'll still buy them digitally, but I think the PS5 Digital Edition console is still a great pickup, especially, you know, a lot of you guys are the more hardcore, you play a lot of games type of people, but if you're looking for a gift to get one of your friends or family members that's gonna be more of a casual, they're gonna be, you know, the FIFA crowd, the Fortnite crowd, the NBA crowd, the Call of Duty crowd, which 95% of the gaming populace fits into that criteria, the Digital Edition console is fine. If they're only gonna pick up a couple games a year, they're not gonna think about, oh my god, Bleach Rebirth of Souls is $15 more digitally than it is physically. Yeah, I lose my mind over that, but most people do not care. So if you want a gift for somebody, or if you, for whatever reason, fall into that criteria of, you know, people that only play a couple games at a time, you play your live service games, which there is nothing wrong with that, the digital console is a totally fine pickup. It's just, most of you guys watching my videos, I would assume at this point, have a PlayStation 5 console, but I digress. $399 flat on that, and I mean, the PS5 is a great console, even though Sony has had a middling generation, I would say, with a lot of things going wrong. It's still been a pretty solid generation with a lot of great games from the third parties and whatnot. So, and you know what? There's a lot of you guys in the comments section, whenever I meme on people still being on PS4, if you actually look at the numbers and if you read my comments a little bit, there are still a ton of people on the PS4. So if you're looking to make the jump, I think at this point the PlayStation 5 library is worthwhile enough, and it's worth the jump. So that's my 2 cents on that. $400 on that. They do have the other bundles on sale as well, and speaking of NBA, there is a PlayStation 5 console with NBA 2K26, and that includes the disc drive for $450. So, I mean, if you're looking to pick up NBA 2K26 anyway for whatever, again, a lot of people are into NBA. I bring up NBA all the time because whenever I go on my friends list, oh my goodness, whenever the new NBA is out, it's over for my friends list. They're all on the new NBA, but, you know, I just meme a little bit on that. But the NBA 2K26 bundle is $450, so you can check that out as well. But the digital console, $400 on that. All right, moving on from that, some games to go over. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth down to $14.99. You kidding me? That's an awesome deal for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Now, the thing about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is, if you're going to be picking this game up, this is one of those games that I would recommend you to have some familiarity with Yakuza and Like a Dragon as a franchise. At the very least, you got to play Yakuza Like a Dragon, but ideally, you play a lot of the Kiryu games as well. But yeah, $14.99 on that is a fantastic deal. And the game's got a ridiculous amount of content. And if you just want to talk about dollars spent per hour of gameplay, this might be the best deal on the entire list. But yeah, $15 on that. great pickup there. And then since we're on the Yakuza train, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is 50% off for $29.99. This is also very much, I feel like, for the fans of Yakuza. If you have an affinity towards Majima as a character, having him at the helm of his own game, I thought was fantastic. And yeah, it's a little bit quirky, it's a little bit zany. I mean, when isn't Yakuza a little bit out there? But Pirate Yakuza was a great time. You know, maybe $60 would have been a bit pricey, but I liked that it was a little bit on the shorter side, kept it a little bit more focused, and I thought the story was overall really good. Gameplay was solid, and instead of being a turn-based game, it was more of a beat-em-up action title like the previous Yakuza games. $29.99 on that really solid deal there. All right. This is a little bit more expensive, but we do have Black Myth Wukong 22% off for $50.55. Pretty good deal on Black Myth Wukong, given that it just does not go on sale. And I mean, you could look at that from a physical standpoint, you could look at that from a digital standpoint. Black Myth Wukong is one of those games that, damn it, it's gonna hold up in price. And a lot of people do view it as the best game of 2024. I know a lot of people had it as their game of the year, but you know, I wasn't as crazy about it, but also, I'm terrible at these games. Black Myth Wukong absolutely whooped me, so it is what it is. I totally get why people like it, and it was one of their favorite games of the year. The ambiance, the vibes to it, the setting, I thought it was great from that regard. $50.55 on that, and great to see a physical copy on that, man. You know, it came out digitally initially, blew up, and I think Game Science knew, okay, we can put this out physically and people will be super into it, and yeah, people are. 50-55 on that. Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition, another game that previously was digital only, and now it does have a physical release. Now it's $40, which I think in my video doing a preview, I was like, oh, it should be $25, and unfortunately, you know, we're not getting that great of a price point. I wasn't as crazy about Alan Wake 2 as a lot of you guys do know, but hey, guess what? This physical copy of Alan Wake 2, it does include Alan Wake 1 as well, so how about that? I loved Alan Wake 1, and Alan Wake 2, without a doubt, is a better game, but relative to when Alan Wake 1 came out, I enjoyed Alan Wake 1 more. Alan Wake 1, it was 2010, Alan Wake 2 was 2023, so obviously games just evolved. I will say, I thought the ambiance and the atmosphere to Alan Wake 2 was tremendous. The soundtrack was awesome. Just, you know, I have the same complaint as everybody else. I play a game called Alan Wake, I want to play as Alan Wake the whole time. You know, it is what it is. And honestly, some of the navigation in the game I just thought wasn't very well done. But overall, for $40, I think a lot of people are going to end up enjoying it. It's Game of the Year material. You know, a lot of people had it as their 2023 Game of the Year. It was really this and Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, $40 on that. I will say this, Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition, I get most of you guys probably have it at this point, but $29.99 on this is ridiculous. Now, as of the recording of this video, Amazon does not have the Zero Dawn Complete Edition on sale. That's $19.99 on PlayStation Direct, and I will highly recommend that. And I should say Zero Dawn Remastered. I would highly recommend that at $19.99, but Forbidden West for $29.99, you get Burning Shores here, and best of all the content is on disc. You know, I'm a big fan of that. So Forbidden West Complete Edition, $29.99 on that. So check that out. Stellar Blade, we're finally putting down those gooners. It's down to $40. You know, it was holding up at $50 for a while, and given that this game is almost, what is it, like 20 months old at this point, $40 is still a hefty price point. Now, Stellar Blade is awesome. I highly recommend it. Soundtrack is great, visuals are great, gameplay is stylish as all hell, and I wasn't even that down on the story. I know a lot of people were like, oh, the story's bad, and even the developers were like, hey, we're gonna put more emphasis on the story in the sequel. They probably have more resources to work with now, but I thought the story was pretty good. $39.97, again, great deal on that, and this is one of those games that I feel like is super replayable in the sense that it's so enjoyable, not super lengthy, but has a good bit of content. $39.97 on that, good deal on that. I will say, Assassin's Creed Shadows, $34.99. Now, I'm just the messenger, alright? I get that some people have a vehement hatred towards Assassin's Creed Shadows. I thought the characters were terrible. I thought the story was really bad. However, I will say that I did enjoy the open world. I thought the open world was gorgeous. The visuals were great. Ran really well on PS5 Pro. You know, and for me, the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed games these days is very much a podcast type of game. Like, usually put the volume pretty low. I explore the open world. I do a lot of the content. Is it meandering at times? Is it a little bit, you know, a little bit just going through the motions? Absolutely, but I still think it's overall a fun time. Not a $70 game, a $70 worth it, but $35 I think is actually pretty decent, so check that out. Bleach Rebirth of Souls, mentioned this at the top. $19.99 on this I think is really good, and on the PlayStation Store right now, this is $36. So yes, you know, stuff like that is definitely going to, you know, grind my gears a little bit when I see the physical copy this much cheaper. And I love Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I thought it was a great game. Now, I am a longtime Bleach fan. Like, I read the manga as it was ending and, you know, felt so slighted by the end of that. The 1,000-Year Blood War was so awesome. And then by the end, it was just like, all right, they're clearly rushing here. But the anime has been tremendous. I do have to catch up. I'm not gonna lie. I have to catch up on the anime. But waiting for part 4 to come out, and then I'll probably binge the anime. But yeah, loved part 1. And yeah, this game is great. I think from a presentation and visual standpoint, it's awesome, so highly would recommend that. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, $30 on this. Now, this is one of those deals that on my end, they have pushed the delivery time of it, so you're not going to get it like overnight, but still $30 on this is fantastic. A contender for Game of the Year. I actually just had a conversation with somebody about this recently, and you know, it's one of my buddies that tried out this game and has been seeing that it got nominated for Game of the Year, and so many people like it. I guess it's been all over his social media feed recently, and he wants to give this game another shot, and I think, you know, give this game some time because it takes some time to get going, but I feel like from a world design standpoint, this game is remarkable, and I've talked to people that think of this game, you know, at the level of the best open world games of all time, like a Witcher 3, like a Red Dead 2. People put KCD 2 among the upper echelon of open world games, and I think from a design standpoint, it's tremendous, and narratively, it's great. $30, definitely a worthwhile pickup, and you're talking about a game over 100 hours of gameplay. Definitely a good shout there. Next up, we do have Astro Bot, which is $39.97. This is another game that's been holding up in price for quite a while, but the Sony first-party games always go through the motions as far as how they are discounted, especially if they're well received. You'll see a slight discount at days of play, and then usually a year later, you'll see a bigger discount, and then 2 years later, it's like what Spider-Man 2 is now. It's finally down to $30 2 years after release. That's just how the PlayStation first-party games are structured from a discount standpoint. I've noticed that, but Astro Bot is a great platformer. Highly recommended, definitely a good buy there. And then lastly, I do want to give a shout to one of my favorite games of the year. It's not available on PlayStation 5, but it's on Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 1. That is 100 Line Last Defense Academy. It is $39.99. I was blown away by this game. I get it that, you know, it wasn't nominated for anything for Game of the Year, I believe. I don't think it even got nominated for Best Narrative, which, if you actually played this game, that's criminal. That's criminal, especially comparatively to all the other games that came out. 100 Line, at the very least, should be nominated for Best Narrative. In terms of telling a story that has so many branching paths and so many stories within a story, this game is tremendous. So much replayability, so much content. Your first playthrough of this game, it's like you get to the end of this game and you think, all right, I'm finishing up 35 hours or 30 hours, around that range. It's a great time. And then you're like, wait a second. That was just the tip of the iceberg. I got so much more to do. And yes, this game has an absurd amount of content. It is tremendous. I hope it comes to PlayStation at some point. I know that there were some things going on with the development and whatnot. But I feel like I hear things about, oh, this game's never coming to PlayStation. And then outside of like Nintendo first-party games, usually the games do ultimately come to PlayStation. So we'll see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know what the deal is, but if you do have a Nintendo Switch, $39.99 on that would highly recommend it. Not a sizable discount, but the game is fantastic and it's got so much content. It's just such a great time. Definitely a good pickup there. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now. Check them all out for yourself. Some good stuff across the board. So, yeah, some great stuff to pick up, whether it be PlayStation 5 consoles, games, and then obviously beyond all of that, there's a ton of great deals on other things as well. So that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.